Awesome. Well, okay, so I have a really, really cool thing today. I'm talking to Chris. Chris Osborne is probably one of my very favorite clients that we've ever had. He does an incredible job with his store, and he has very graciously offered to jump on and talk to me for 10 or 15 minutes and really just kind of get a look into inside hopefully his amazing head, and figure out how he does what he does. So Chris, welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time.
No problem.
So can you, if you don't mind, like give us a just like a 30,000 foot view of you. You've got multiple locations running. How long have you been open? Maybe just kind of give us a little like inside the ballpark of where you're at with your business right now.
So I have three locations total. I'm sitting in the one I call my bread and butter. It does a lot of my numbers, and I have one in about 30 minutes each direction. The other two are actually on the same road. They're just about 45 miles apart. So I've been doing it for 7 years. I started with a business partner. Things got flipped around year five. I bought him out. So I've been doing it completely by myself a little over 2 years. And I feel like I've killed it since I got rid of him and since I bought him out. So a lot of my success is credited back towards Selmore mattresses because they've helped me a ton.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate that. We certainly love working with you and getting people talking to you because you do a great job with people when they come through. Can you so I actually want to talk about, you opening multiple locations, but before that I want to talk about what Conover the main location that you guys were working out of? So it's the one that you're in right now.
Yes, I'm sitting in Conover. It was our very first location. It's always been my main location. It's consistently done 500,000 plus in sales a year for the last 7 years.
Amazing,
So,
amazing. And can you tell me a little bit about, like, on a daily basis, you're getting messages from all sources. Like, I know you're doing marketplace, I know you're doing business page, I know you're doing a little bit of Google and stuff. So can you just give me like a general idea of what it's like dealing with leads from those various places? Like, is it different for you? Is it the same thing every time? Do you get a different feel from the leads that you're talking to?
so I definitely get a lot of leads coming in every direction. I have four different business pages. I have three different Facebook accounts, four different Facebook accounts. I run two of them. My wife runs one and my son runs one. So I do Craigslist, OfferUp, Google, and road signs and t-shirts. So Craigslist customers usually a little different. They always recognize themselves. OfferUp is a joke. So it's just, I mean, it is what it is. Anybody uses it can vouch for it.
Yep.
So Google, you usually get a little higher end customer and it generates the phone call. The marketplace has changed over the years. It's always, I want a queen, and then how much? And then it's ghost. So the paid ads that run off the business page is to me a lot better lead. It's my best lead so far. So I don't give price unless they ask. So my general follow-up message is I have queens left. I'm setting up times today and tomorrow. Would you like to set up a time to come check them out? And I would say 6% of the time they say yes. They don't even ask price. So we go from there. But the leads are definitely different across the board. But I would take the paid ad lead over any of
Nice, nice.
them.
Okay. Um, and okay, so you don't talk about any price. You're basically just focused on selling the appointment, essentially, like selling them, like, come into my store and then we'll take it from there.
Yes, I will take the appointment no matter how I get it. If I got to mail them an envelope with address, that's how I'm taking the appointment. Because if I get them here, now I got a 50% chance of selling them. If they're not here, I have a 0%. So
That's true.
I will waste that 15, 20 minutes of my life for that 50% gamble. So every time when you get them here, you just make friends, even if they don't buy, which my close rate's pretty high. It's over 90%. But even if they don't buy and you're friends, and you're like, hey, you need to go over here and check out this guy. Or I think I seen a cheap one at Big Lots. Maybe that'll get you by.
Yeah.
You're still building the customer.
Yeah.
Next time they're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go see that dude again. He was honest last time. So just get them back.
Yeah. I like that. And I don't I don't think people necessarily can kind of consider what you're putting out there too. And like you said, if you send that person to Big Lots because that's what's the right fit for them, but then they may tell their neighbor, their friend, their mother-in-law and say, hey, I know you need a really nice mattress. Go talk to Chris. He was super helpful. Um, so I do think that's important to just kind of uh, basically put goodwill out there in the market too.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's great. Um, in terms of when people come in, actually, no, sorry, before I even go there, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about your mindset because I think, when we were talking before I recorded, when I speak to you, you always have a smile on your face. You always have good humor about what's going on. You're a busy guy. Like I mean, I see you, like we're friends on Facebook. Like you're doing stuff with your family. You've got 3 stores going on. Your wife has had stuff going on with her business and whatnot. So like you got a lot going on. But again, like you're always pretty chill. You always got a smile on your face. So can you just tell me a little bit about your mindset when it comes to running these stores and doing this business?
So I got interviewed a year or so ago, and they asked, one of the questions they asked was, if you were a superhero, what would one of your powers be? And I told them that it would be to forget. So every day that I wake up, I choose to forget yesterday. I choose to forget the bad in it. So today is a new day. Even if I've had a bad day, I know tomorrow is new. Like I just got to get through today. But I refuse to let that one person ruin my day. So they're done and gone. Like I'm the one killing it. I'm not I'm not struggling over a $50 mattress or $100 mattress. Like I got 50 of them behind me. I just refuse to let them get in my head. And I go through spells, and I always find out when I'm in that spell that I'm engaging with the trolls. To the messages you get, like, go away, screw you. I don't want your mattress. I don't want a dirty mattress. I'm engaging with those people. But when I'm reset, I don't. I just swipe left and just keep on going. I don't even see what they say. So I just choose to reset every day, and it makes life better. So it truly does.
That's awesome. I love that. And yeah, I mean, I think, kind of compartmentalizing, put it away, move on, and just kind of be in the present of what's going on. Because you can definitely let bad days get to you. You can somebody being rude or snotty in a message can definitely like stick with you.
And like everybody hates 0 days. But imagine having 3 locations and have a 0 day. Then you're like, is the world coming to an end? Like, what's going on? Like the locations help the consistency, but now I just had a 0 day. And then if you have 2 in a row, like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm selling out. Like, I'm completely done. But you just have to reset every day. And it's just, I mean, it's a miracle because you reset and the next day you'll sell 9 grand. Like, okay, that made up for the last 2 days. I'm good. Let's go. I'm ready. So,
Well, and that's what's kind of interesting, obviously nerve-wracking about the business is you can go through a couple of days. You can even have, 4 or 5 days where it's like, oh boy. But then, it seems to turn on a dime sometimes, where all of a sudden, like your Saturday, you just blow up, or your whole weekend you blow up, and it makes everything better for the week. Um, can you talk a little bit, you mentioned multiple locations. Can you talk a little bit about your decision to open multiple locations, why you went with that, and maybe a little bit about what your experience has been having managing multiple locations?
so a lot of it stemmed like when I met my business partner, this was our first location. So he wanted me to run this location. That's it. So I ran this location. He went and opened 7 more over the next 15 months. So I ran this one. I managed the other 6. So after 3 or 4 years, we started losing employees. So I started running multiples. But I was up to running 4 at one time. Very stressful, like in a 45-minute window, no matter which direction I went in. It would take me 45 minutes to get there. So when it all come crashing down after COVID, so I only had 2 locations left and they were 25 minutes apart. And to me, that was perfect. Like I don't live, if I lived in the middle of them, even better. but I live right at one of them, and the other one's 25 minutes away. And I was so used to running multiple locations. I'm like, two locations is a breeze. Like, can I get some more customers? Do I need to open another store? Like, my mindset worked that busy. So that's where I function, is in the high stress level. Like when I'm slow, like I'm messing stuff up. Like it's just, but my slow was most people's fast. So, but it definitely takes a mindset on multiple locations. You have to truly master the first one before you can go to the second one. Because a lot of people think just because you have one and you're doing 20,000 a month, now you have two, you're going to do 40. But that second one's never going to pull that weight. So don't wrong, your second one might pull the weight, but now your first one's lacking. So because you can't be in both spots at one time. And if you hire an employee, that's straight profit. So it's still not going to do what the first one was doing because now you're paying half your profit to an employee.
Yep.
So your market has to work and your mindset has to work. Because if you drive 30 minutes 3 times that week and they all three walk, the next week you're like, I'm not going. They can drive over here if they want a mattress. So it's a very hard reset. You have to be determined to make that drive. So the multiple locations is not for everybody, but the people that have that brain space that don't require Google Calendar or I don't use an agenda or anything, a day planner. I use none of it. I keep it all in my head. So, and that's just where I function. So, and there's people like me out there that can kill it. I
Yeah.
mean, I've helped some of them,
Yeah.
but it's not for the faint of heart because there's very stressful days in it.
Okay. You said something there that reminded me of you had called it the mattress flu. So you said, if you got 3 days where people don't buy, then it makes you feel like maybe next week you don't want to show up. And you had mentioned the mattress flu. Can you tell us a little bit about the mattress flu?
Yes. So the business we're in is so repetitive, especially on the match by appointment side, because all we advertise is a $150 queen or a $275 king. That's all we advertise. Now they're calling you looking for a $150 queen. You're like, I'm not going down there to sell them a $150 queen. I'm like, that's what you've advertised for the last 2 years. Why wouldn't they want a $150 queen? So I call it the mattress flu because now you're sick. You don't want to go meet a $150 customer, but we all know that 1 out of 50 might want that $150 queen. I mean, they all want it, but they don't want that one. They want the other one that's 150. But that's where the finance and being human comes into play. Like that's what I got. I sell it under cost. If you're sleeping on the floor, that's a great option. If not, let's talk about these.
Okay. Yeah, because I think, you know, we talk to people sometimes and they don't want to advertise their twins. They don't want to advertise their fulls. My opinion is, you want to advertise everything that you got because you don't know what that could turn into. And maybe the person that comes in looking for the twin, they realize and they see what else you have and they go, oh, I actually want to replace my bed too. Or they buy the twin, they go home and just like the Big Lots customer, they go home and they tell their neighbor, they tell their mom, they're like, hey, I got this twin. Chris was really great. You told me you needed a new mattress. Like, I think people don't necessarily know how that could spiral into more sales and better sales for them if they do go meet that person and they do have that interaction.
Yeah, I definitely take every size, every appointment. Or like, can we just come get a bed frame? I'm like, sure. I'm a little more picky. Like, I can meet you there at 4:30, or I'll stack them with somebody. I won't go completely out of my way to meet them. And usually that's what I do with twins. I stack them with another customer. So, because we all know there's not much profit in twins, so I
Sure.
push them to my time. I don't flex to their time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's totally fair. That's again, that's why you're running the business the way you do, so you can have that flexibility. So I think that's fair. Um, can you talk a little bit about your process when somebody comes in the door? So, obviously, like you said, like you'll sell somebody that $150 queen if that's what they want. But can you kind of talk about what happens when somebody walks in the door and what process you usually take them through?
So when they come through my door, which is completely like right here, my desk is right by the front door. So I'm very relaxed. Like I don't push, I don't pull, I don't push them in any direction. I try to be standing up when they come in the door. I introduce myself. I cut up for just a second. I'm like, are you guys want to do the payment plan? If they say yes or they hesitate, I sit down. So I try to lead by example. So if I see them grab the chair, then we're good. We're filling out payment plan. If they don't, then I just immediately stand back up and we go look at mattresses. And I just tell them the cheapest starts in the back of the room. Price goes up as you come around. You can lay down, roll, jump, or backflip. But if you can backflip, I'm going to record it so I can post it. So I just try to get that laugh. I try to get that reaction. So then I turn around and I walk back to my desk and I let them wander off, not having any clue what they're doing. And then as soon as I sit down, I'm like, what do you guys like? You like firm, you like soft, you want something in between? So I get them to turn around and look at me. So I took control back. So then I stand up and I go take them pretty much where I want them, which is usually right above the middle of my lineup because I always put them on firm first. Whether they want firm or they want soft, I put them on firm first.
Okay.
So
And why is that? Why do you normally put them on firm first?
because I can go either direction. It's the higher side of the middle of my room. So they're like, well, this is great. I'm like, well, great. Let's just write that one up. That's $1,000 ticket. I'm good with that. They're like, you got something a little softer? I can move either way on how I read them. So if they pulled up in a Mercedes, I'm definitely going the higher side.
Okay.
So it's just I try to read the person that's there, but I still don't talk about price until they pry it out of me because I don't sell them. I try to become their friend. What do you do for a living? Where do your kids go to school? What kind of sports do they play? How long have you worked over there? Like, yeah, I know that guy. He was my boss one time. Like, I try to become their friend before I ever sell them a mattress. And then once they get comfortable in their land, I'm like, all right, that's the one. Let's go. So it's a very relaxed sales process. Like, I don't try very hard at all. And it
Love
just
it.
seems to work.
So I like it because there's kind of there. I feel like there's two things going on. You have some choreography of this is my process of moving them through the store, and then you also have some psychology going on of I'm reading this person as soon as they come in. I'm looking at the car. I'm looking for visual cues. I'm trying to pick up on conversational cues of oh, where do you work? Oh, okay, so I could probably get an idea of maybe what you've got in your wallet, to spend. So like, I'm going to put you over here. Or what sports your kid playing? Oh, they're doing horse riding. Okay, like you know, so that's good. Okay, cool. Um, so would you talk a little bit about maybe a couple of like what are a couple like common objections that you might reach in a sales conversation that and how do you try to get around those?
So I would say probably industry wide, we're just looking today, but you have to be brave enough to call BS on that. So it has worked in my favor. I can't tell you how many times. And we have a really good mutual friend that most people know that he is amazing at it. But if they pull up in a truck, especially if they back in, they tell me they're just looking, I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, you backed your truck up so it's easy to put the mattress on. I'm like, the reason you don't want a mattress right now is because either you don't like me or the price is too high, which we can fix either. So, like, I will negotiate probably more than most people. But if it's price, I'm like, sure. I try to take something away or I try to take them down on a mattress. I'm like, well, fill this one. I'm that one, like, this whole side of my room is all ones. Like, I want whatever is there is the only one I have. The only one I have. So the one you're laying on is the one you're buying, and I'll sell it cheaper. So I gave a reason to give a discount. They don't know that I have something else in the back. So that's the only one I have. If you like one of these, I'll cut the price for you. So, and 9 times out of 10, I can pull them to this side of the room and sell them. So it works.
I like that you said you give a reason for the discount, so you kind of make it make sense. It's not just generic like, oh yeah, I'll give you a discount, like
Yep.
like here's the reason why you can get a discount on that bed. Um, and then you said you negotiate more than most people. Obviously, a lot of people they want to try to get as much out of a sale and a transaction as possible, but I feel like you kind of take a different tact with that. Can you kind of can you kind of explain that your thought process on that side of things of why, you're just as happy to sell the $150 mattress as you are to sell the $1,500 mattress?
Yeah. Sorry, delivery guy.
You're all good.
Thanks, sir. So I'm all about the money. Like I try not to sell the 150 because it is sold under cost, but I will sell it, especially that customer where I'm like, well, do you need just a mattress only? Or do you need a platform frame? Because then I can add money on the platform frame and it gets me back up over cost. Because to me, I live 4 minutes away from this location. So I've invested 10 minutes of my life. Most people make $15, $20 an hour, tops. If I made $20 profit that hour, I'm like, I'm great. Like, at least I'm not flipping burgers. Like, I get to go home. So I will take the $50 profit or I will take the $1,000 profit. So the key there is not to open your mouth too fast. So let them start to walk and be like, well, let me see if I can help. Give me just a second to look at my cost. Like I always click on the computer. I'm not even looking at nothing. And I'm like, well, I can do this. If this helps and I can get you out the door. So I just negotiate and try to pull them back in the door. So I told my wife, just talk to them until they buy a mattress. I mean, it works.
Awesome. And then obviously, overwhelmingly people tend to buy stuff that's plenty over cost and you're making plenty of profit on. So
Yes, it's worth the wash.
It's more rare that you're getting somebody that, walks out with the 150 that yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And the stereotype will cost you more money than anything else in the industry to me. If you stereotype somebody when they walk in that door, that's the customer that's going to spend the 1,500 to 2,000. Now you just stereotyped them, took them down to $500 or $600. So it'll cost you more money every time. So I'm not, they can pull up in a beat up Ford Ranger with 3 flat tires. I'm like, all right, what you want? So I'm going to help you tie it down. So just don't stereotype it.
So, okay, that's a great point. So when you're saying that, when you say don't stereotype it and somebody comes in the door, you're making some assumptions probably about their ability to afford what you've got. Where do you think a owner or salesperson is making the mistake? They're gonna lead the person to those lower end beds, assuming, or they're putting out pricing information. Like, where do you think that they might prevent them from getting to the higher purchase?
To me, the number one mistake is thinking that the sale is over when a denial comes through on the payment plan. The sale's not over. Or if an approval comes through, it's only $800 and they wanted 1,500. They're like, all right, we got to move them down. I'm like, no, you don't know that they don't have $1,000 in their pocket. So I've done it many times. I'm like, can you pay some out of pocket? How much can you pay out of pocket? They might not say 800, but they'll say 700. I'm like, all right, deal. Got it. Like I'll fluctuate that. I mean, I had enough profit up there. So it's just assuming that by looking at them that they can't afford it. I think everybody that comes to my door can buy my most expensive out of pocket, no payment plan. They just choose the payment plan because it's an easier option instead of spending the cash.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, that makes sense too, because even just from a cash flow perspective, like, yeah, you might have the money, but maybe you want to keep it in your pocket so you can buy groceries and get gas. No, you're all good. So yeah, I mean, sometimes the payment plan is just a matter of like the convenience of keeping the cash on hand. It's not because that's all they can do. Okay. The last thing I'll ask you, and then we'll wrap it up because I know you got to get on with your day. So regarding appointments, what do you typically open yourself up for in terms of like your availability to take appointments with people?
So I told somebody a month ago that my calendar was blocked off for the next year to sell mattresses. So there's days that like I've had a really good week. That Sunday, I'm going to be very picky. But I would say 90% of the time, if you want a mattress at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll meet you. you want a mattress at 9:30 at night, I will meet you. Or I'll send my son. But if I feel iffy about the situation, the time, the day, the voice on the phone, then I'm going to take it myself. But I'm not very picky about appointments. Like if you want it, sure, I'll meet you there. What time's good? So just about any time. So and it took me a long time. Like family is very important. So it's took me a long time to start leaving those windows open. Like I know my daughter has a softball game. I'm like, the game's at 5. I'm like, well, I can meet somebody at 4:50 and I can still get most of the game. So family is definitely very important. So I'm at that spot now where I'm trying to give them more time, but I have a 21-year-old son that I'm training, which that's who walked in the door. So
Nice.
I'm giving him those appointments. So I get that free time.
Nice.
But people live their lifestyles different. I choose to make money as many hours a day as I can.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
and
basically what I'm doing.
yeah, I mean, I think that's the decision you've made in doing this business and running it the way you are. Like that is the luxury. Um, and and yeah, I think some people, you know, they choose not to make money in some cases because they limit themselves to what they are willing to do and when they're willing to go. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put that out there to show that, like, you're again, you're making it possible. So when somebody looks and says, why is he doing so well and why am I not doing as well? Well, you're doing a lot of things that other people aren't willing to do. So you have to be willing to kind of put in the effort. Last thing regarding appointments, and then we'll wrap up. But when you're getting messages, whether it's a phone call, it's a Google lead, it's Craigslist, it's Marketplace, it's business page, can you talk a little bit about your methodology of taking that person from message or call to getting in the door?
So if we go message based, they're always 9 times out of 10 they respond with a single word, a queen, a king, a twin, a full. So my response is very generic. I have several different models left in a queen. I'm setting up times today or tomorrow to let people check out what and pick out the one they want. Would you like to set up a time? It goes two ways. It's either yes or no. So the yes, I just set the appointment right there. I don't ask any other questions. I set the appointment. So, and then you'll get the follow back. Well, how much is it? Or do you have the pillow top? Which I'm still very generic. I'm just like queen start at 150 for mattress and box spring. But a lot of my customers are using the $25 down plan and taking it home same day. What time's good for you guys to check them out today? I always put today on it because I don't set for tomorrow. Very rarely I do, but I'm always today. I'm driven today. A same day delivery. I don't care if you meet me at 9 o'clock tonight, I'll deliver it today. So, and I just set the appointment. I give people 2 or 3 exchanges on Messenger, and then I'm responding with my phone number and tell them to call me. And they're not getting any more out of me. I don't respond after that. So on the phone, it's old school script. I have queens left that start at 150 and then go up in price from there. I'm setting up times today to meet with people. Would you guys like to set up time? So very generic. I try not to give them anything unless they ask. So when they ask the question, I usually answer it, but and I just keep it rolling.
Nice. So you're selling the appointment. You're not selling anything else.
I sell nothing on the phone but the appointment or the message.
Awesome. Awesome. And I like that. Yeah. And I like that you basically try to load up your day, and that's really where you're focused. Uh, so you're not booking 4 days out. You're not booking a week out.
I have one set for tomorrow. That's it. Everything else is today.
With it, so if you're okay, so if you're having that conversation and somebody says, like, for instance, it's Friday today, and somebody says, "Oh, I get paid on the 15th," or "I'm moving and I'll be in my new home in a week or 2 weeks," what are you saying to that person?
So the payday, I'm like, well, you can put $25 down and just take it home and you can just pay it off on your payday. The one that's moving, I always respond back with, what's better if you come now while I have a really good selection and pick out what you want and just put a deposit on it and I'll hold it for you since I'm climate controlled and I'll just deliver it for free the day you move in. So I still get them in the door and I try to hook them with something free.
I love
So
it.
it tends to work a lot.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time. I think this is going to be helpful for some people, and I really wanted to, get it in front of people that might be not seeing quite as much success as they want to, and just, kind of talk about what's possible because you are definitely a rock star. So, awesome. Well, thank you very much, and yeah, we'll keep sending you the lead so you can keep getting your appointments. All
Awesome.
right.
Thanks.
Thanks.